there, Kristen Walter, head broker of the Mountain Dream Team, coming to you today, talking to you a little bit about why people buy and why people sell in our resort community. Stay tuned, you're not going to want to miss it. Hey, thanks for tuning in today. Make sure you click the like button down below and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you want to see more of. But I'm going to start this series now to help you understand our rural and resort market in the mountains of Colorado. Make sure you go check out my main website and all the other social media channels that I'm on, and let me know how I can serve you better. So a big question that we get a lot in our area is, why do people buy and why do people sell? So in Summit County, Colorado, and in all the other resort markets that we serve, it's a second home community. So the first rule in a second home community is that for the most part, no one needs to buy and no one needs to sell. Motivations are completely different from a primary market. So for example, in Denver, where I practiced real estate for 7 years before moving up the mountain to a resort community, in Denver, people have to sell their house or they have to buy because of a job, and maybe they're being relocated. And a lot of people will want to buy in a certain area because of the schools or the walkability or proximity to work. But in the mountains, all bets are off. So when you go to put an offer in on a property that's listed for sale and the person doesn't have to sell it, it's a little bit different than if they do have to sell it in a primary market. So when someone doesn't have to sell, what are their motivations for selling in a second home market? The biggest thing that we see is that they want to either downsize, upsize, or what I call right size, so going sideways. So for example, if they own a condo, a 1-bed or 2-bedroom condo, they might have enjoyed themselves during ski season so much, and they've got all kinds of new friends and family coming up, and maybe the kids are getting bigger, that they need a bigger place. So they're gonna get a bigger second home in the area. On the same note, many times people who have really large homes in our area have maybe aged out of it. So it's a grandma and grandpa who bought the house for their kids and grandkids to come gather and ski and have a vacation. And now maybe those people don't come out anymore for maybe health reasons. So we see a lot of people with health issues in our area that are selling, where they're getting older, or perhaps they've got some sort of issue where they can't breathe at altitude anymore. So when it comes to that type of scenario, most likely the listing agent and us as listing agents, we're not going to let people know that publicly, because that is a very big motivating factor. If there's a person who can't physically be in our area anymore and enjoy their home, that's a big motivation. And we're not typically going to reveal that or have it revealed to us, because it's kind of like a privacy issue, and we have to be careful with Colorado real estate laws, but it is a motivating factor sometimes for people to sell. Now, when I say right sizing, when I say people going sideways in our market, this is the fun thing that I've seen a lot of people doing. So in a second home community, we have a lot of people coming to Colorado from certain areas. So statistically, 50% of our buyers come from what we call the Front Range. So if you think about the I-25 corridor all the way from Fort Collins through Denver Metro down to Colorado Springs, we call that the Front Range. It's like the front part of the mountain range, okay? So 50% of our buyers in the resort market where we're at come from that area. The other 50% come from us in this order, and I'll put the chart here on the screen so you can see. But my people from Texas, which is where I'm from originally, then directly below that is Florida, and then it goes down from there. The motivating factor for these folks are a few things. In the winter, what's the one thing that Texas doesn't have? Mountains to ski on. You might argue with me on that, but I'm going to tell you our mountains in Colorado are way more beautiful. Well, anyways, they're more skiable, right? So we have a ton of people coming from Texas to ski in the winter. In the summer, you get the people who also don't have mountains, Kansas, Florida, Indiana. They're coming to us to escape the heat as well. So you have this whole group of people who they just want to enjoy themselves on vacation. They want to have escape the heat and go skiing. With that, what we're seeing are couples and singles, single women over 55, and this is statistics. I'm not steering, I'm not violating any real estate laws. I'm just telling you what's happening. We've got people who are semi-retired or retired who live in these other areas who are downsizing in those areas. So people from Texas, Florida, Kansas, Indiana have bigger giant homes. They're retiring, their kids have moved out, their grandkids maybe aren't nearby. They're going into condos and townhomes in their primary markets, and they're buying larger homes than what they live in their primary markets. They're buying larger homes in our market because their kids and grandkids are scattered throughout the United States. And hey, let's face it, when you have a mountain home, you get more friends and more family coming to see you than maybe when you're in Kansas or Texas or Florida. And also, it's like having a boat, right? You get more friends, so more friends want to come and gather. That's what I mean when I say people are right-sizing in our market. They're downsizing in their home market because they don't need the space anymore. And they're sort of upsizing in our area so that people can gather and have a vacation home. So before I get to the biggest reason why I see people wanting to purchase quickly in our market, please make sure you comment below. Let me know what questions you have. Let me know if I've missed anything. I would love to be able to help you understand the differences and the unique perspective of being in a rural and a resort mountain market in Colorado. Sign up to be on our email newsletter. We do lots of fun giveaways, especially if you're our clients. We give you free ski passes when we're able. Okay, so there's this big thing out there. I'm gonna do some other videos about it, but first things, the lawyers want me to tell you, I'm not a tax accountant, okay? I'm just a lowly real estate broker who helps with these transactions every day. The biggest reason that we see people very motivated to buy in our area is because of 1031 exchange money. So 1031 is a IRS tax code from the United States. And what it means is that if you have an investment property that's making money, so a rental, and you sell that property and you earn money on that property, you have a capital gains on it. So let's say, for example, you bought a house for $500,000 and it's a rental for you and you're getting income off that rental. When you sell the house, you sold it for $700,000, let's just say. You have that $200,000 increase in value that you're gonna have to pay taxes on. But the 1031 tax code says if you take that capital gains and you roll it into something like kind or better, so meaning $700,000 or more, then you can roll that capital gains burden that you have with the IRS into the new property and you're deferring paying the taxes. So it's not an avoidance of taxes, it's just you're waiting until later to pay the taxes. So if you think about it, you could do this forever until you die and then set up your your estate taxes and put it in a Roth if you're not using it yourself. There's all different kinds of ways that people are doing this, but they're doing it in our area a lot because our prices are so expensive. And we do have these vacation homes that are making a lot of money on the VRBO, the Airbnb, the vacation rental market. Even when they're professionally managed, we have a lot of professional property managers that when you buy an investment property in our area, they're just sending you checks in the mail from all the vacationers coming and using your place. So we have a lot of what we call 1031 money coming into our market from other areas, because you look at a market like maybe like Houston or Dallas or Austin, Wichita, Kansas City, Orlando, and if you had an apartment building that you owned in that area, or you had a duplex, or you had a rental house, and you have this extra income and you have this big tax burden, where are you going to put it in that market? Like, it's harder to go up and up and up and up. Well, people are discovering our market and saying, well, I can buy a vacation rental and have it make money for me, and maybe come out and use it occasionally, and maybe come out and check on it and that kind of thing. But I got this 1031 money that I have to use. So the other rule around the 1031 money, just real fast before we go, because I don't want to get too much into it, is that you have to identify a property within a certain amount of time once you've sold the one that made you all the money. And then you have that certain amount of time to identify it, and then you have a certain amount of time to close on it. So the IRS says you have this chunk of money that you want to defer the taxes on, but you can't just let the chunk of money sit there in your bank account for a year and earn interest. You have to go and flip it into something new, something better. So those are the reasons that people buy and sell in our area. Obviously, the biggest reason people come and buy in our area is for the lifestyle. There is no other place like Colorado when it comes to being outdoors and having an adult playground. I mean, come on. We've got world-class skiing, world-class fishing, golfing, road biking, mountain biking, hunting, shooting, birding, boating, you name it. If you like to be outside and you have a hobby, we've got it for you. Hundreds and thousands of skiable and hikeable acres. We've got camping. It's everything you would ever think of that you see on TV when it comes to the Wild West and being outdoors and all the stuff that you learned about when you were small, when you were in Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts. We've just got everything here. And really that is the driving factor, is the lifestyle. And so when we talk about whether people need to buy or need to sell, we don't have the needs here. We've got our locals. We have issues with that with deed restricted housing, and we're trying to help locals afford housing. But for the most part, we are a lifestyle purchase. We are a luxury purchase. And so you know what that might mean when it comes to buying and when it comes to selling. And so you know that when it comes to a luxury purchase, to be honest with you, it is the best market I have ever worked in. I love working in our market because no one has to buy and because no one has to sell. It makes our job a lot easier. It means that we really just need to stay up on the trends. We need to stay up on the 1031 tax laws. We need to have our team in place for those types of transactions. We need to make sure we have the best of the best people working in our circle. So the property managers, the title people, the 1031, the lenders. Lending can be just out of this world here. So we love working in a luxury market. We love that it's a lifestyle purchase. We love helping people to achieve not only their financial dreams, but their vacation dreams, because we think that if you don't have a vacation, and we know it now more than ever, you can't have that downtime with your loved ones, you can't relax, and then you can't go back and be productive in your day-to-day life if you don't have some kind of escape and some kind of getaway. So that's just a little bit about why people buy and sell in our market. Hopefully it's been helpful. I'd love to hear your questions. I'd love to take you out on a discovery tour and have you see what's going on in our area. Let me know. Stay connected. Bye for now. See you in the mountains.